I think it's more of just trying to elaborate our language to adapt to more non-physical things.
Okay, here's my input on that. Is Dakota, what do you mean by the sense of or by the soul? When you say soul in the context in which you said soul, what do you mean by how it can touch your soul in that way?
It expresses the soul to its purest form, because when you talk, before you talk, you undergo, yes, a series of filters run by the ego to make sure that what you're saying should be said by judgment of your ego. And it's a barrier. It is a huge barrier, and it's especially tied to this language. Like face ass. I'm pretty sure if I was speaking Sanskrit, I wouldn't say face ass. Or I wouldn't say, you ugly, bruh. I wouldn't say anything like that. I think now,
you're
just
a gibberish thing, man.
No. In Spanish, they're going to have their own terms. And it might even, I guarantee it feels different. Just thinking, like, it's probably thought in a different way. There's probably a different, like, rhythm to how they would express some type of, I don't know, insult or something. Yeah. So in a more ancient, in a more accurate language,
that's like that for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. But in a more accurate and more spiritual language, wouldn't you think they would be able to express more true and more spiritual? Like, why can you say they couldn't? Like, it definitely seems possible.
You can't prove a negative.
Are you saying okay?
Couldn't do it.
I think the more general point we're trying to get to here is that is there a possibility in which another language could express more in a way that is different than the language which we're using right now?
And I think that is such okay, but that just saying that automatically puts us in this box. In this box that this is how we describe the shit that goes on in our world, whatever language is in this box. But, okay, there's one of them that we can maybe get more of an emotional response or more of, a soul response by talking the way or having the same sounds as the way, is, totally looking at the wrong part of the box.
Why?
Because this is how we're trying to communicate this non-physical feeling to one another. We're putting it in these terms or making these sounds that describe this to make an emotional response to somebody else. Regardless of the language or how much of an emotional response it causes in somebody else, it's still not it's not doing anything. Emotion. It's not doing it. Yeah, it's giving them how they want to feel it. However they want to feel
their
it.
Perspective.
I might feel Russian. It's fucking emotional, but you feel Spanish just as emotional.
It gives a subjective point of view.
Maybe, but it still doesn't even touch on what we're really talking about.
Or what you're really feeling.
Or what we're really getting.
But you're trying to
trigger an emotion. It's like tripping. It's like when we're tripping together, I don't need to explain shit to you. Yeah. I don't need to explain to you what we're feeling because I know that you feel it, and me explaining it to you is only working on myself. The only reason I'm explaining something to you when I'm tripping,
you can understand,
is so I can comprehend it in my own head and do it. That's why you don't talk to each other. That's why communication is hard, because the only reason you're doing it is to filter out your own bullshit through somebody else, kind of like. That's why when we're talking to each other, we're sitting on the dock together and we're like, we don't need to say anything to each other because we both know what's going on. But you feel like the need to because of that. And I feel like that's where you put that box on. And that's where when you're on shrooms or LSD or something, you're outside of that box. You're right out here because you're like, I don't need to explain this to you because you already know it because you're experiencing it. I'm assuming that you're experiencing the same thing I am because you were on the same thing. So I don't need to talk to you about it. But if I'm talking to you about it, the only thing I'm doing is trying to prove myself right. Or trying to prove something to myself, which was completely pointless in that frame of mind.
I mean, but that's the ego, knowing yourself.
All those languages, everything you're talking about right there is all ego, right there. The best language to help point at that's in the ego mode right here. Whereas the soul's up here, and it's that has nothing to do with me right now.
But how could you say that? Like candles, we look at candles as a physical thing, but apparently that can be used in witchcraft.
Do you see? You're still
no,
right here.
No.
You're still right here trying to put something in here.
candles use the witchcraft so they can try to make something happen, and then the candles that we use physically just to light a room. A language that we use to physically communicate with somebody, and a language that we use to spiritually communicate. They're both connected. Like, that's what I'm saying. They can be used in different ways. Our body that we use so we can interact with the physical plane, and what we can use so we can try to project out.
So
There's both
what's the
connected.
difference in
What's your
use?
point of like lighting
Hold on.
a candle? And
What's the difference in use? How can you use it differently, or what makes it different?
Through the way that you use it. The way that you use it.
Okay, so give me an example.
Meditation. Most people go about the day doing physical practices. But when one focuses on the non-physical, they are able to experience what they call amazing and crazy experiences. And the logical thinkers that try to become, that are skeptics, and they try to figure it out using logic, they just never seem to get it. And why is that? And I think that explains itself from all the information I just given. You can't understand. Like, it's just not.
Dude, you were
They're
talking
different,
about
man.
candles, and then you went to that.
I mean, because it's
You gotta
connected. That's what I'm trying to tell. Like, everything I'm saying is still connected, though. Like, it's still, they're both, like, they're just two different aspects of the exact same thing. Like, it's just the spiritual body that overlays this physical body. Duality. Like, we have a mind that thinks up all this stuff, and because if you really know yourself, you know you are not this body. You are this mind thinking of what you want to say from your mind. This is, you are just looking, you're just
Are you supposed to eat
The
this?
point of awareness.
Yeah.
point of
Yeah,
awareness.
yeah.
You are just
Like you eat?
watching
Yeah,
yourself do these actions,
Yeah.
controlling this
To
body.
go to some point of wisdom, man. You got to be able to move from subject if you're like trying to talk to somebody, or like I know you're
Yeah.
all about like convincing people of like how you feel. You got to be able to take a subject and move from it to a different point like that by like not just completely changing
Changing
what
it.
you're
Yeah, I
talking
know.
about.
I need
'Cause
to work on.
I know after talking about you for like after a long time, it's like I know what you're thinking and I know how you're processing it, but you'll lose people like that. You'll lose people in that. You gotta grip them and pull them like a movie, you know, like
Yeah, no.
give them little bits and pieces and then give them a story or something.
That's
about
why I'm gonna
it,
start
you know,
podcasting,
like,
bro.
There you go.
Whoa. Dude, what if you have like a whole chain of followers, man? What would you preach to them?
I wouldn't. Right now, yeah, open-mindedness. That is the number one thing. that
How?
you have.
How would you exemplify that? Like, how would that manifest itself in their following you in your lead?
Seeing how many topics we would cover, because I know if I
So you
was,
just want to talk about some things.
yes, a lot of things like
Like what?
I cover, like if you saw what I look up.
Here we are. We're
on
on
their
a podcast
iPad.
right now. People could be calling you right now.
Podcast. We're on podcast
Right
with
now.
Dakota right now. That's
We're
Dakota Radio
re-podcasting.
right now.
re-podcasting it right now.
We're on. We're live right now.
We are.
Well,
What will you say? This is your podcast, buddy. You got it, buddy.
I mean, all the information that we can cover doesn't have to be about spiritual stuff. Like, tell me something that in the physical. Like, I mean, it's anything really. I'm open for anything. Like any religion really, I'll discuss because I think there's a oneness to everything. So
Okay.
therefore, I will talk about anything.
Okay. I want to just put out something there that I think JB might get it. I think you could learn a lot from is that it's how you present your information is how your information is received.
Yes, definitely, of course.
Right. Okay. So, in future aspects, when we're talking about shit like this, usually you'll lose a lot of viewers if people listen to it if you start off with something like far-fetched and like doesn't make any sense and you're just like throwing it out there like, oh my god, we're floating around in a galaxy of millions of light years away and no one knows what the fuck we're going on. We all know this, but we're just like presented differently. So the name of the game when it comes to like conversating
It's
is
definitely
like how fluent you
trying
can
to be
make the
smooth.
shit happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
I definitely
That's the
try.
name of the game.
Even if I'm not as good as I want to be, I try.
it is. It's like you build a story.
It's hard to keep. It's
like fucking what's his face? You make a comment.
this is really hard to keep a fluent conversation while thinking about what you want to say, and
Well,
making
that's
sure
what I'm
they
saying.
can
Like, so
understand.
here we are on a podcast. You know, you guys were having a discussion, so people are probably listening in, thinking like, you know, they're probably doing something and sort of half listening. You know what I'm saying? Or they could be just tuned in right now. Maybe I don't know what they're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? But how are you going to keep that train of thought?
Well, I mean, I have a rather, I guess you could say, fabricated, like, thought process.
Okay, so here
So-
you go. So here I am asking you questions. This is your podcast, my brother. Your podcast right now. Boom.
Well, I think it.
Boom. What would you call it? What's the name of your podcast?
I don't know.
You don't have one yet?
Question everything, because I know that's what I
You're
try
gonna call
to
it
do.
Question Everything?
No, man, I gotta take that from Jordan. But
Nah, don't do that. That's why.
I don't know. I don't know what I would call it.
Well, I'll tell you this much.
The void.
The Void? I think that's probably something too.
We should just take this couch and put it somewhere random.
Discussing and uncovering
Carry it
everything.
a couple houses down.
in the dark.
Drop it.
Brandon's room.
Brandon's room. Let's clear everything into Brandon's room and then make it seem like we got everything out and be like, oh, our rooms are good.
That'd be mean.
Maybe. But Brandon left us tonight. We were fucking rocking it.
Oh, yeah, sorry, man.
You know what?
No, he left you tonight. He didn't leave
Bottom
us.
line from all this convo tonight is the fact that reality is slippery.
It is
And
very.
I think we all know that.
Like, we honestly, I know we don't live in a fully conscious state. I mean, we can't. We have,
No.
we
Can't.
have,
Absolutely not.
Okay, I put up there.
at least not in this physical body. At least from what we know. From the way we use it, it's
You have
not.
no idea what goes on in here.
Dude,
I don't.
I have no idea what goes on in here. So I know there's something controlling this. There's gotta be some sort of energy rolling with this thing because I don't know what's going on. I can't fix it. You
What
start
are
to
you
grow a
talking
tumor.
about?
I can't break that.
Yes, you can, man.
Like this, like my body, my
Through the
vessel.
etheric body,
Oh,
it is
right.
relieved through
No.
traditional
Maybe, but
Chinese
if
medicine.
that were the truth, then there would be some monks that live to be 140, and that's not the case. And we all know that.
They actually do tend to have a
Dakota,
longer lifespan.
I've looked it up, man. Trust me, they don't live significantly longer.
Not
Actually,
sig-
Italian men live longer, the longest lifespan, which says that someone who drinks a ton of red wine will live longer than somebody who's meditated their entire fucking life. So you can't take that into effect.
I definitely have to look into that.
Google that shit.
But
That's true.
but no, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying like it's
The
definitely interesting.
Italians have the
'Cause,
longest
Italians,
lifespan?
dude. 72.
I thought it was like the Japanese.
Can I get a Google
Chinese or
search back up
something.
on this one? I would love this.
72.
Fact checker Nelson.
72 or 73? I imagine it's around there.
Checked. What do you say, Nelson?
HuffingtonPost.com. Let's see.
Speaking about unbiased journalism,
83
Remember from the
years
last
old
podcast.
with Japan.
Huffington Post. Yeah, right.
European countries like Italy, Switzerland, Spain, Sweden, Israel, and Australia are only a year or two behind.
It's
What?
close, right? It's close.
And Japan
Wait,
is the
who's the
healthiest.
top? Who's the
It
top?
seems. I mean,
83. Their culture? I get that.
but that's
But
country,
why
man.
why is India, why are none of those countries that have most of the Buddhists in that? Why would they not be killing that right now?
Are they healthy? Do they look like lean and strong? Or are they
Dude,
bigger?
You're asking rhetorical questions right now.
I mean, in a sense I am, but I mean, I can't really think. Like, I can't really think. I mean, I know I see some pretty bigger ones. I know through health and through taking care of your body and spiritual and mental well-being, I know you can live a long time. I don't.
Okay, absolutely. That's a fact that I would back up absolutely.
Yeah.
However, that way of life is not the healthiest way of life, is what I'm saying. Like being like a Buddhist monk in a temple your entire life obviously is not winning you the longest length of life award.
Maybe they're wrong. Because I know I'm not a Buddhist.
I'm not in it.
I mean, I don't. I
But I know
they
that
they take
I
their
know
own
there's
route.
not a shitload of Buddhists in Japan or Europe.
I mean, that may be true. So maybe Buddhists aren't the longest lifespan having people. Honestly, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not Buddhist, and I certainly. I don't have a belief. I think I'm trying to find out the best way. I want to be the one that has the longest lifespan because I found out the way that was in the middle path. That's what I want to do.
And I'm saying you should probably talk to some Japanese dudes or European guys, Italian guys. I'm telling you, red
Yeah,
wine's the
sure.
trick.
Oh snap! I got that off.
Couple glasses
That's
of
so
red wine
cool,
every
dude.
night.
That was a scab, and now it's like blended. Perfect.
Dude.
No, never mind.
So pretty much no. And this is I guess this will be a point of reference in the future someday when someone's listening to the archived version of this. That it is us in this room plus the Brock Norris, my brother-in-law, who lives in. He's actually in Texas
Ken?
right now.
Is his last name Brock Norris or something?
No, his first name's Brock, last name Norris.
Last name.
Why do we call
Very-
him Ken?
No, Brock is
Last
a different guy. He's a different guy. He's
Oh,
not
so
Ken.
Ken was a different guy?
Ken
I
is
called
a
Brock
different
Ken,
guy.
by the way. Did anybody catch up on that?
Who?
I called Brock.
No, Brock never called in.
Oh, he didn't?
He's texting me now. He doesn't understand what the hell we're talking about. Otherwise, he would call in.
Oh.
He's the one other viewer. He's the one
Got
person
it.
listening right now.
Good.
Got it.
It's Brock.
He's
So
listening
Brock,
right
call
now.
in and tell us what the hell's going on with your day.
So,
and
Brock-
why you're listening to this
Tell us about your day.
at 10:39 Mountain Time. Oh wait, no. 11:39 Central Time in Tejas.
You would enjoy, I feel like you would really enjoy general philosophy, which would be like Aristotle. And,
Actually, I think he's calling. You guys should don your headsets.
Give me a headset. I would love
It's
to
like-
talk to him.
you know how you kind of think, like,
Hey, you're on the boy. Who's this?
Aristotle,
you gotta turn your set
Aristotle,
down, man.
Plato, who was the original fucking guy?
Yourself.
No.
You got.
Aristotle
Hello?
learned
You
from somebody.
gotta
Who's
turn
the
it
original
down,
guy?
man.
Plato is.
No, Plato learned it. No, Plato's
Yeah.
later on.
Alright,
No,
did
it's the
you
first
turn it
guy.
down?
The first
Which-
guy who walked around.
Brock.
Yes, sir.
It was
Alright,
Plato.
cool. Yeah, there you are. Just talk in your phone.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
I think
Copernicus?
you should be able to
No.
hear us.
Hey.
Can
You
you
talking to
hear
me?
us, Brock? What do you hear, Brock?
What, man?
What do I hear?
Yeah.
I can hear you now.
It
Oh,
starts
no,
with a
I-
C.
Awesome.
Caesar?
Dude, what's on your mind, Brock? What you been up to today?
Plato.
Who's
We're
the
talking about
fucking original
philosophy
guy?
right now.
Dude, Plato is.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
God?
No.
Plato
Do
is.
you guys ever
bro.
talk about that in the oil field?
Plato.
Do we talk about what?
Philosophy, about God?
Not so much.
Not so much?
No. After work, it's pretty much titties and beer.
Titties and beer, yo. Titties and beer.
Socrates.
Socrates.
See, it goes Socrates, Plato.
Hold on.
You
Dude,
got your
hold
one.
on. Let me get everyone else in this conversation with us, Brock. 'Cause it's a good
Hello?
conversation. Yeah, you're
When it
on, man.
when it
Yeah,
came to
you're-
philosophy,
Hello?
I never really kept up with
Hello? Check.
the
Dude,
old
can you hear?
people.
Check. Hello?
Dude, the mic's been on this whole time. You don't have to check the
Okay, okay, so check it. Can I start this off?
mic.
This
No,
is,
he's talking about.
Check.
Oh, yeah, okay.
is it with him? Is that what we're talking about?
No, Brock's on the
Check.
line.
Oh, sorry. What up, Brock?
Brock, what's
I was
up?
just saying, I never really followed the old philosophy people.
Yeah, see, I feel like the originators, like Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, were like the original ones because they passed it down from one another. You know, like they understood something so fucking complex that no one else would be able to get to, and then they pass it on to somebody else.
Who could
Who pass it
understand?
on to somebody
Yeah.
else. Yeah. Like Socrates' original story was that he would go around the town and fucking tell people and ask them to the root of like what they knew is like, what do you know? Like, what is this? What is God? What is who this is? And he was like a bastard because of this, because it was so far out. Yet he taught it to fucking Plato, who taught it to Aristotle, who gave it down the chain of command. You know, it's pretty ballin'.
Well, I personally think the
That's what you need to think.
old people, Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, I kind of feel it's more anecdotal stories that were carried on from, verbally that kind of became raised on a pedestal, and I think that the point behind what they were saying was probably lost
It doesn't matter.
300 years
It's
ago.
not recording it.
Maybe, but I feel like their point may still be around today, in the fact that Socrates says that he doesn't know anything. Like he legitimately is an individual that says that he has no idea about anything. And I feel like that's what his point was, and I feel like he got murdered for that.
But he
and I
did.
feel like maybe even if that's a story, maybe if Socrates never existed, maybe Aristotle or Plato made it up that, because we still don't know if Socrates would ever existed, because everything about Socrates that we know is written by Plato, because Plato wrote everything about that, and then Plato taught it to fucking Aristotle, so we don't know. However, that idea I still feel is still here.
Well, I believe he existed, but I also think that when you're looking at things and trying to apply it, to our lives, you need to look more to the people like Maslow and Locke and the philosophies that they set out.
I agree.
Where Socrates and Plato, their lives were driven more by not getting eaten by lions and tigers and bears.
They were a little more radical, for sure. As in the fact that, like, they just, they kind of push it on the masses as just, like, something that was, like, far-fetched and unknown. So I imagine, like, that's probably why that's why Socrates was killed.
What?
Right?
I don't know.
It's all good, hang on.
What were you up to today, Brock?
Not much today. Home for days off.
What are you doing right now? Are you like driving around? Are you still working right now, as we speak?
No, I'm on days off. I flew home last night.
Oh, so you're actually in Grand Junction?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, I thought you were in Texas.
No, I just got done with my hitch and I'm home for the next week.
Got done with your what?
My hitch? I'm working 2 weeks on, 1 week off.
Oh, that's what you call it? I didn't know that's what they
Yeah.
call it.
Annie says hi.
No. I'll tell her hi back. Are you at home right now?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. So what got you tuning in? Were you just checking your You were checking your Facebook, weren't you?
I was.
Look at you checking your Facebook.
I was trying to get a hold of the
Oilfield
guy, and then I was
supervisor
going to go to
sitting
bed,
there.
and
Checking his Facebook.
you shamed me into calling your show.
Wait, what? What happened?
Shamed you.
Who shamed you into calling in?
You did.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
No, I just said, yeah, call in and tell us that you don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Because I don't think, I don't know what the hell Dakota was talking about. I mean, I was like trying to follow it. But I'm too masculine brained to know what he's talking about.
I kind
It
of
takes a lot of
stepped
opening,
into it mid-conversation. I was beyond lost.
Yeah.
That's alright.
But, whatever.
We're all beyond lost.
It was good to get you in on the combo, though. So what are you guys up to anyway? Just hanging out at home? Kids sleeping?
Yeah. Kids are in bed. will be there shortly.
Nice. Yeah, I'm supposed to be in bed by now. It's late Eastern time.
Enjoying the cool weather for up here.
Yeah, I don't know anything about cool weather.
It is.
It's pretty hot down here in Florida.
Scroll back up.
What?
That's
I've been
cool,
working
man.
over along the Mexican border, and it's fucking hot there.
Oh yeah, I bet. I bet it is.
The U.S.
That
is
is-
so lucky.
What are
that
you guys
she's
looking
hot.
up over there?
Like, so lucky.
What's going on over there?
Super lucky. What?
There's some madness going on in this room.
In Brandon's room. You review it?
Alright. Alright, Brock. I think that's about all we got to
I'm
talk about tonight.
on a
go to
different
sleep.
level.
Anyway.
I'm on a different
So I think we're going to
All
end the
right.
podcast on that note. Thank you very much, Brock, for giving us a call. That was awesome.
Guys,
Thank you.
have yourselves a good night.
Sorry I shamed you into calling in. But it was, I thought it was fun having you on. Discussing philosophy. That was cool. Alright, there he goes. Alright, thank you all for tuning in. This will be archived. It'll be part of the Hidden Files series. Hidden Files. The unknown broadcast. Alright, y'all. Peace.
The unknown broadcasts. Pete, again.